What's up, team? It's David, your head coach at Cliffhanger Academy, coming to you with our psychology fitness tip of the day. And today we're going to work on some shoulder mobility exercises that have been around for a long time. You know, these are something that I did when I was a baseball player, and it was really big to strengthen the rotator cuff. So that's what we're really going to be concentrating on, team, is the rotator cuff and those four main muscle groups that hold the shoulder into the socket. Remember, the shoulder of one of two ball and socket joints that we have, which gives us omnidirectional movement through. So we want to make sure that we're doing this and just strengthening that rotator cuff in a way that makes sense. So for this one, we're going to actually need a band. So I like using a band that's kind of thin. This one's probably about an inch thick. I'm using the red color today to demonstrate what we're going to do a little bit of a girth hitch around a stationary object. And then we're going to come out and I'm going to show you how to do internal rotation first. So internal rotation, you want to make sure your arm is bent at 90 degrees. You are pulling away from the direction of the band. And so here, while the arm stays close to the rib cage, you're going to inhale here, and you're going to exhale, pull the forearm to the stomach or the core. Now remember, when you come out, you're only coming back to 90 degrees. So basically I want your arm to be parallel to the ground, but also running perpendicular to your torso. So we're not trying to let this go all the way out here. This is gonna put a little bit more stress on the rotator cuff. So for internal rotation, it's inhale out here and exhale, pull towards your stomach. Inhale here, exhale, pull towards your stomach. One of the things to check out, team, is you wanna make sure your elbow is not coming out off of your rib cage when you're using that internal rotation. So one of the things you want to make sure you're doing is strengthening the shoulder and not putting extra pressure on the shoulder. So I'm going to show you external rotation on the same side. So now, if you notice, I'm still pulling from the opposite direction of my band, but now I've actually switched to my other arm. And now what we're gonna do is my starting point is gonna be different. My ending point is actually gonna be my former starting point for the internal rotation. And what does that mean? Now, team, I'm gonna start now here. So instead of having my arm and my forearm out and being perpendicular to my torso, I'm actually bringing my forearm in and laying it across my belly. And I'm gonna externally rotate my shoulder. So you're gonna take an inhale here. Remember, keeping that elbow close to the rib cage, and you're gonna exhale out here. You're gonna inhale here, and then exhale out here. Now, a couple things to consider again, same thing with the internal rotation, external rotation. Keeping a 90-degree bend through that elbow, not breaking the wrist. We don't want to be moving our wrist at all when we're doing this internal external rotation, because you want to put most of the mobility stress on the shoulder, on those four muscles of the rotator cuff. Make sure the forearm comes across the belly and that elbow stays tucked into the rib cage as you exhale out here. So it's an inhale here, it's an exhale here, an inhale here, and an exhale here. So team, if you want to make this a little bit more difficult, one of the things I like to do is I'll stand on one leg while I'm doing this, and I'll try maintaining my balance through the internal external rotation to make it just a little bit more challenging. But team, I encourage you, do not do this just yet until you figured out how to do this with two legs on the ground first. Team, you can do these anything from like 10 to 20 reps. You really can't overdo these too much but if you're doing these on a daily basis, just be careful and just see how your shoulder feels. Again, straighten the rotator cuff. Make sure you're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth as we do internal, external rotation with a band.